Okay, I have a confession, a real one. Last year, I had a great idea, a business idea. I thought about it every single day for 6 months. And you know what I did? Nothing. Zero. I just sat there and thought about it.
A very educated statue. Alan, that is the saddest thing I have ever heard.
Thank you, Sophie. I worked hard on that story.
And here's the thing, if you are listening to this right now, I'm guessing you've been there too. Maybe not the statue part specifically, but that feeling. You know English, you studied it, but something is still missing. You understand, but you cannot quite speak. You read okay, but writing feels slow and painful. And risk, don't even get me started. That's today's topic.
We're talking about risk today, how to take it, why most people avoid it, and why the biggest risk in life is actually not taking any risk at all.
Welcome back, everyone, to English Shadowing Club. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Alan. And yes, that confession was 100% real.
Today is a very special episode. We're talking about something that touches every single person's life. Risk, the idea of trying something new, something scary, something that could fail, and doing it anyway.
And before you think this is just a motivational speech, it's not. We're going to look at real science, real psychology, and real stories. Why do we avoid risk? What happens in our brain? And how can we change that?
This episode is perfect for B1 and B2 English learners. We will speak clearly, we will explain everything, and at the end, we have a word tour with 10 key words from today's episode. You can also grab the free PDF from the description. It has the full script, all the vocabulary, and the reflection questions.
Okay, let's get into it. Section 1. And this one might make you a little uncomfortable.
Here's a fact that will surprise you. 80% of the world's money and resources are in the hands of only 20% of people. And who are those people? They're not always the smartest, they're not always the most talented, but they're the ones who took the most risk.
And here's the uncomfortable part. Most people, including me last year, think that playing it safe is smart. Stay in your lane, don't make big moves, avoid failure. But that thinking has a cost that most people never see.
Let me ask you something. Imagine a road. The road is smooth, no bumps, no turns, no danger. Sounds perfect, right?
Sounds like my life.
That smooth road, it leads nowhere. When there's no challenge, there's no growth. When there's no risk, there's no reward. The road that feels the safest is actually the one that takes you away from everything you really want.
And I think this hits close to home for a lot of people. You have a job you don't love, but it pays the bills. You have a dream, maybe start a business, learn a skill, or move to a new city. But you think, what if it fails?
So you stay. And 1 year becomes 2 years. 2 years become 10 years. And you wake up one day and ask yourself, how did I get here?
That question is painful. I know, because I asked it.
The lesson of Section 1 is this. Safety is not safe. Playing it safe is just a slow version of losing. The real risk is not trying.
Okay, but I know what some of you are thinking. Sure, easy to say. But what if I actually fail? What if I try and it all goes wrong?
Great question, Alan, which brings us to Section 2.
So here's something that completely changed how I think about fear. Our brain, the human brain, is about 200,000 years old. And for most of that time, risk meant death. A loud noise in the jungle? Could be a lion. A new path through the forest? Could be a trap.
So the brain learned a very simple rule. If something is new or uncertain, be afraid of it. Run away. Stay close to what you know.
That was great advice 200,000 years ago in a jungle. But today, when you think about applying for a new job or starting a YouTube channel, your brain sends the same alarm. Danger! Stop! Don't do it.
And here's the science. There's a thing called loss aversion. Researchers found that our brains feel the pain of losing something 2.5 times more than the joy of gaining something.
Wait, so losing $10 feels 2.5 times worse than finding $10 feels good?
Exactly. That's why when you think about starting a business, your brain immediately goes to, what if I lose my money? What if people laugh at me? What if I fail? Those fears feel huge. They feel bigger than the possible reward.
And that's exactly why I did nothing for 6 months. My brain made the fear so big that the dreams started to feel small. That's not logic, that's evolution.
And here's the really sad part. Most people use only about 10% of their potential, not because they're lazy, but because they stay in what we call the comfort zone, the place where everything is familiar and safe. It feels good, but it's slowly killing your future.
Can I say something honest? When I finally started my first project, after those 6 months of doing nothing, I was terrified. But the moment I started, the fear got smaller. Not gone, just smaller. The action itself reduced the fear.
And that is the key insight of this section. Your brain fears the unknown, but the moment you step into the unknown, it is no longer unknown. Action is the cure for fear.
So stop waiting to feel brave. Do the thing. Then you will feel brave.
I want to stop here and clear something up because I think a lot of people confuse two very different things. Risk and gambling. These are not the same.
Gambling is when you put everything on a number and hope for the best. That is pure chance. No skill, no plan.
Risk, smart risk, is different. It means you look at the situation, you study your options, you ask, what is the worst that can happen? Can I survive that? What is the best that can happen? Is that worth trying for?
I love this idea. It's called calculated risk. And the best people in the world, entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, they do not just jump blindly. They calculate, they prepare, then they jump.
Think about a pilot. Before every flight, a pilot checks everything: the weather, the fuel, the instruments. Is the pilot afraid of flying? No. Are they aware of the risks? Yes. But they know the risk. They manage it. That is courage, not recklessness.
And this brings up something really important. Risk is actually a skill. You can learn it. You can get better at it. The more small risks you take, the more comfortable you become with uncertainty.
Start small. You do not need to quit your job tomorrow and move to another country. Start with one small brave thing this week. Send that email. Post that video. Start that conversation. Build your risk muscle.
Risk muscle. I love that. And here's a wild truth. The ability to take risks actually decreases as you get older. When you're young, you have fewer responsibilities, fewer things to lose. The best time to take big risks is when you're young. If you're listening to this and you're in your 20s or early 30s, this is your window.
And even if you're older, it's not too late. But the point is, don't wait. Every year you wait, the comfort zone gets more comfortable and more suffocating.
All right, but what about failure? Because I know someone out there is thinking, okay, I took a risk and it failed. Now what?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that, Alan. Section 4 is all about failure, and I promise it's going to change how you see it. I want you to think about a baby learning to walk. The baby tries, falls down, tries again, falls again. Does the baby say, I'm such a failure at walking. Should I give up? No. The baby just tries again.
Because the baby hasn't yet learned to be embarrassed. The baby just sees falling as information. Oh, that didn't work. Let me try something different.
That's exactly what failure is. It's not a verdict on who you are. It's not proof that you're not good enough. It's simply feedback. It's data. It says, this approach didn't work. Try another.
And here's something beautiful. When people look at successful people, do you know what they respect most? The story of the struggle, the story of the risk, not the smooth, easy path, the hard one.
Nobody tells a story about the time they played it safe and nothing happened. That's boring. The stories people remember, the ones that inspire, are always about someone who tried something scary and kept going.
I want to be honest here. My first project, I put in 3 months of work. It failed. 0 people cared. I felt terrible for about a week, but then something weird happened. I learned more in those 3 months of failure than I had learned in 3 years of playing it safe.
That's the sunk cost fallacy in reverse. Usually, people hold on to old failures and use them as a reason not to try again. But the smart move is to take what the failure taught you and pour it into the next attempt.
Risk is like a currency. It's the currency of the modern world. Not money, not connections, the willingness to try, to put yourself out there. That's what separates people who live big lives from people who live small ones.
And here's my favorite idea of this whole episode. Your success is hiding on the other side of your fear. The thing that scares you most, that's almost certainly the thing you need to do.
That's terrifying and also kind of exciting, right?
That's the sweet spot. That feeling right there, that terrifying excitement, that's the feeling of growth. That's the feeling of being alive.
Okay, this last section is a little bit edgy, but hear me out.
Oh no, Alan's going philosophical.
I am, because this is important. Think about how society is designed. School teaches you to follow rules, get grades, don't stand out too much, get a job, be stable, retire. The whole system is built to create people who are safe, predictable, and easy to manage.
And there's nothing wrong with stability, but stability and growth are very different things. The system is very good at creating followers. It's not good at creating risk-takers.
And risk-takers are exactly the people who change things, who build things, who create jobs, art, ideas, movements. The world is moved forward by people who are willing to be uncomfortable.
But comfort is a drug. The more you have of it, the more you need. And after a while, your comfort zone becomes a cage. It looks beautiful, it feels safe, but you can't grow inside it.
So the question is not, how do I avoid risk? The question is, what is the one risk I've been avoiding that could change everything for me?
I love that question so much, and I want every single person listening to sit with that question. What is the one thing you've been afraid to try? What is the risk you keep pushing to next year?
Because next year will come, and if you keep pushing it to next year, eventually there are no more next years. And that's the saddest ending to any story.
Risk takers are not special people. They're just people who decided that the fear of not trying was worse than the fear of failing.
You can decide that too, starting today.
Okay, we're at the end of today's episode, and I have to say, this one felt personal.
Very personal. I basically told everyone I wasted 6 months of my life doing nothing.
And look how far you've come since then.
That's true. The business I started after those 6 months of fear, it really changed my life. It really did.
So here's our final message to you. You're more capable than you think. Your comfort zone is lying to you, and the life you want is waiting on the other side of one brave decision.
Start small. Take one risk this week, just one, and watch what happens.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to English Shadowing Club on YouTube. Share this episode with one friend who needs to hear it, and grab the free PDF study guide from the description. It has everything: the full script, the word tour, the reflection questions, all of it.
And hey, if you take a risk this week because of this episode, come back and tell us about it in the comments. We genuinely want to know.
Thank you so much for being here. You're brave for learning. You're brave for growing. Keep going.
Until next time, I'm Alan.
And I'm Sophie. See you in the next episode. Bye.